on the next episode of Sips, Suds, and Smokes.
This is an all-American single malt show. So we have Clermont.
Which I would normally be very excited about, but
The singles night?
single malts from America.
Well, the singles night. Yeah.
There's some great ones out there.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
So we have Claremont Steep American Single Malt Whiskey. We have New Riff Sour Mash Single Malt Whiskey. Union Horse Revivalist American Single Malt. Westward Whiskey Sauternes Cask Single Malt. Westward and Ken's Artisan Sourdough Single Malt Whiskey. Westward Whiskey Cognac Cask Single Malt Whiskey. Westward's Whiskey Elements High Desert to Klamath Basin Single Malt Whiskey. And Westward Milestone Single Malt Whiskey.
We'll be right back after this break. Brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. And now it's sippin' time.
Hey, yes, it's sipping time again. Welcome to this Sips episode where everything good in life is worth discussing. As always, we are the best thing on at 2 a.m.
Well, we have to move to 2:30 because Three's Company's on it too.
And we don't discuss the sexy time, so we don't discuss everything good in life.
Well, but wait, which Three's Company is it? Is it the Norman Fell is the landlord, or is it the Don Knotts is the landlord?
Northern Fell.
I like the Don Knotts.
I like the Don Knotts better.
Don Knotts is better.
I'm sorry, I grew up watching Andy
girls go
Griffith.
Crazy.
Yeah,
great.
I'm more an Andy Griffith fan, so yeah.
That's okay.
Whatever. Thigh Master, baby. Thigh Master, Suzanne Summers.
We're still a half hour off.
Yeah, we are half an hour off, but that's
all right.
That's our
Two's
style.
company's at 3, so we're gonna beat them.
This is Made Man Bob, and joining me today are Made Man Brent.
You know, when you're in Florida, it's nice to be in the basement.
It's a little wet, but other than that,
Well,
In South Florida, there are no basements.
well, this is what we're calling the pool deck.
Yeah.
And obviously,
if you dig a hole in the ground and you line it with concrete in Florida, we call it a pool, not a basement. So,
Right.
good old boy Harmeet.
Thanks for having me, Bob. I really don't mean that today, though, but thanks for having me.
Well, it's all right. We don't mean it either.
Yeah.
And good old boy Justin.
Good morning. I do this whole show in a snorkel in the basement, so it's a good time.
Of course, he's sitting on the bottom of the pool with a snorkel.
Of course I am.
He's a little slow.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's all the copper tone he's been drinking.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yes.
You got to stop drinking the copper tone, man.
Yes, that's true.
Well, our sip segments are all about wine, distilled spirits, tea, coffee, and anything else you can sip. And here are the whiskeys we're going to be discussing today. This is an all-American single malt show. So we have Clermont.
Which I would normally be very excited about, but
the singles night.
Single malts from America.
Well, the singles night. Yeah.
There's some great ones out there.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
So we have Claremont Steep American Single Malt Whiskey. We have New Riff Sour Mash Single Malt Whiskey. Union Horse Revivalist American Single Malt. Westward Whiskey Sauternes Cask Single Malt. Westward and Ken's Artisan Sourdough Single Malt Whiskey. Westward Whiskey Cognac Cask Single Malt Whiskey. Westward's Whiskey Elements High Desert to Klamath Basin Single Malt Whiskey. And Westward Milestone Single Malt Whiskey. So we're going to have Justin tell us all about our sips ratings.
Well, since we're doing high desert whiskey, I figured
You're doing what?
Clint Eastwood should come out.
I thought that was a really bad Ronald Reagan, but okay, whatever.
It's very similar, and they're both from California. They're probably the same age. All right, one sip. Give me a glass of water to wash out my mouth.
Water. Bring water. Bring water.
It's less High Plains Drifter and more bedtime for Bonzo.
Yeah, it's definitely bedtime for Bonzo.
2 sips. Nice. But what else do you have?
Well, isn't
Getting
that
better.
nice?
Getting better. I'm respecting it now.
3.
No, you're not. You're just being nice.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
You're just trying to be nice, and it's unbecoming of you to try and be nice, so stop it. Come on.
I have a hard time being nice.
3 sips. Interesting. What was this again?
Interesting.
4 sips. Let's keep this secret to ourselves. Pour me another.
That's
I feel
classified.
like you have that "Get Off My Lawn" vibe from later Clint Eastwood.
I was thinking more Bronco Billy, but that's just me.
Grant Coromino, he's got that "Get Off My Lawn" vibe. He's got it.
5 sips. Oh my. I was unaware anything could be this good.
That's the best one.
Oh my goodness.
And that's the best one. That's
So the last time you're hearing that today.
thank God. Yeah.
Only if he's lucky.
Yeah, well, there's still 49 minutes of show left that we got to fill in and hopefully make up for that. So let's have Harm tell us about our first whiskey. So
Thanks, Bob. Today's first whiskey is Clermont Steep American Single Malt Whiskey. This is developed by Freddie No, the 8th generation master distiller of the Fred B. No Distillery, which is basically Jim Beam. Clermont Steep is the first American single malt in their 227-year history. Clermont Steep is a 5-year-old liquid distilled and aged in Clermont, Kentucky. No and his team hand-selected American malted barley for the mash and used Beam family jug yeast in the natural fermentation process. It's the same yeast that is used in all Beam products and adding a sense of familiarity to every sip. The single malt was then distilled in a column still and aged for at least 5 years in bespoke barrels that were toasted and then quickly charred to a level number 1, which is like putting it in the toaster on for 8 minutes. Come on, what's going on with it? What's your number
number
char?
1, that's toaster for about 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, what's going on with the number 1 char? Well, the color so far is a beautiful copper, a little muddy. I don't know what's going on with this little cloud. Mine's looking a little cloudy.
Is it beautiful or is it money?
It's a light.
It's light, but then it started out beautiful. But I guess with the water, it's kind of a little cloudy. It's got a weird nose with orange peel and malted barley like Whoppers, but not without the chocolate. I guess, yeah, the water did make this cloudy. The palate is weak and this tasted young, and I don't know what to tell you about this. I mean, let me try it again. Sitting there in the glass with water, it has gotten better. It's got that orange peel. It's got the malted barley. It's got some young oak to it. A little bit of peach coming in. It's okay. It's a good first step. What do you think, Brent?
Well, on my nose, I put apples and green grass. On my palate, I got the green grass, I got some bitterness, and I got dandelion. It's a short finish.
You know, that's a good call, the dandelion. I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's a short finish. It does not remind me of Jim Beam Distillery at all.
No.
I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to remind me of that, but I don't
Because
see
of the
that.
jug yeast. It doesn't. No.
It doesn't remind me of that. It's not a product for me. I mean, maybe this is one of those geek bourbons or something.
No, it's their first attempt at single malt.
Yeah.
Well, first off, it's not a bourbon, so.
Right. I understand that, but it's still supposed to remind you of the Jim Beam Distillery.
Well, the
And it
yeast
just
should bring
doesn't-
some of the same characteristics.
Yes, it does, but it's supposed to, but it doesn't for me. So
I got a little peanut in there.
Brent, Bob, what you got the peanut? What else you got? He's spelling.
you
it
get
now.
the peanut on the nose a little bit after that water.
Get a little bit of peanut on the nose after you add some water.
It's like peanut brittle.
Yeah.
Peanut brittle and dandelions.
Yep.
Like Brent said.
A little bit of straw.
I still get the orange peel.
There's a little bit of orange in there, like burnt orange peel, and a little maltiness in the nose.
I'm getting that malt on the palate too. A little bit of malt once you add the water.
It's gotten better with time in the glass.
Yeah, it's definitely Whoppers. It's malted milk balls. Definitely malted milk balls.
Justin, what weird note do you have for us today?
So on the nose, I thought it was sweet, and I got the beamy yeast on it,
You do.
and then I got tang on the nose.
It's no.
Tang, like
Tang,
like the stuff the
breakfast drink?
astronauts drank.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
Tang
stuff the
has a
astronauts drank.
Tang has a higher, sharp citrus note from the citric acid.
Right.
I don't get that here.
I'm getting it on the nose. At the end.
Really?
Well,
It doesn't hit you with a hammer.
in his defense, he snorts Tang every morning to wake up. So you know,
It works.
yeah. They sell it in that big paint can size one at Costco.
And your drug test comes
Well,
back
there's
clean.
another word that ends in tang. But,
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
On the palate, I thought it was sweet, pleasant, unremarkable, and the finish was sweet as well.
It was unremarkable. That's the problem.
Kind of like a glazed donut without the donut. Just glazed. just glazed, actually.
I didn't get that sweetness. I got bitterness to mine. I mean, it's just
Oh,
That's
interesting.
'cause
Well,
you're bitter because all single malt.
You're
stuff.
sitting really close to Harm.
it rubbed off. I guess
If you move a little
It's a
closer to
single
this
malt
end of the
show.
table,
It rubbed off.
Tell you what,
I know.
lean this way and see if it's any less bitter.
If you lean this way, you'll smell diabetes.
Yeah.
So it's all what you prefer.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got a rating?
I went back to it. It's still still bitter.
You're
Still get
still
the
bitter.
I'm still bitter.
He's
I
still
just
bitter.
don't get it. I must have something else in my glass than you guys have.
Well,
No,
I'm
it's orangey and malty, and it's okay.
I'm with Harm. It's a good first step. I mean, it's the first time they've ever done it. So it's actually, I mean, what I said when I tasted this, it was better than I thought it was going to be. Because, I mean, again, you got 227 years of making bourbon and you're doing something this radically
so with
different.
I've
It's
had
true.
really a great American single malts out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I was expecting Jim Beam to come with a stronger candidate for the first time.
They need to kick it up to
Exa-
130
that
proof and age
exactly.
it for 8 years, just like
Yeah,
most
it
of the
needs
other
to be
things
much
we like.
older and higher proof.
Yeah, that's most of the things we like are that. So
It's
they did that.
they have enough product out there that they could have waited on this. I don't
could've
think they had to rush it.
There was no reason to rush this.
Yeah.
4 years.
I
is
mean,
too
that's just
young.
what I
and
think
the
about
number
it.
one barrel char. What is the point of that?
They want to let
5
Freddie
years.
release stuff
Not
before
4 or
he gets
5.
bored.
Sorry.
5 years.
Oh,
not
5
4.
years. Yeah, so 5 years still.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense as a number, but tasting this, I wouldn't do that. And a number one barrel char, why?
Yeah.
like-
I wouldn't have done number one.
I think one of you guys said you could stare at a barrel and make it a better than number one char.
yeah.
Yeah.
I could breathe on it hard and toast it that much. Yeah. Number one is like, laying out in the sun in
The
Florida.
lid's almost green.
Yeah.
They didn't even need the new charred oak container because they weren't making bourbon.
Well, we're going to rate the Clermont
Yeah.
Steep American Single Malt Whiskey 2 sips.
Well, isn't that nice?
And we'll be back. Hey, and we're back, and this is our American Single Malt show. So we just finished talking about the Clermont Steep American Single Malt. So we're going to be going off to Brent for our next whiskey. So tell us about that one.
Thanks, Bob. So this next whiskey is a New Riff Sour Mash Single Malt. It's 56.9% ABV or 113.8 proof, non-age stated. So a little bit stronger than our last one. This is comprised of up to 6 different mash bills, distilled in their column beer still and doubler, and slowly matured in a variety of cask types. So the 6 mash bills include 100% Marie Otter.
Maris Otter.
Yeah, that one too. A classic British ale malt. 100% Golden Promise, a classic Scotch malt whiskey malt.
Which I love.
Okay, barley wine style after high gravity, heavy bodied barley wine ales. Belgian quadruple style in the fashion of rich, mellow Trappist ales. 100% Scottish peated barley malt, heavily smoked and pungent. An 100% Chevalier
Heirloom.
well, that one too.
Chevalier
Malted
heirloom.
barley, an 1820s vintage
I was
English
going to give him
variety.
Chevalier.
So
He almost got there.
yes, the one of the ones that intrigued me on this one is that the heavily smoked and So I'm thinking right off the bat, oh my God, I have a peat bomb on my hands or something. But on the color of it, this is a nice 70s copper color for penny. On the nose, you really get that oak and sherry and that dark fruit and a little bit of lemon citrus and just a little wisp of smoke. I thought it was going to be a lot more smoke than it was on it, you know?
Well, they don't give us the percentages of each of these.
Right, I understand that. And with being 6 of them, and we don't know how many they used of each, they said up to 6.
Yeah.
You know, we got that.
I'm guessing they used all 6, but the percentages vary. I mean, it's a good effort. Go ahead.
Well, so on the palate, the one thing, even after adding water, the one thing is that you almost have to chew through this to get through it. It's like kind of like a stickiness on the palate.
It's muddled. There's too much going on.
Well, yeah,
They threw everything at the wall.
I think it's like overly like sherry. Like I think I get too much of that sherry and the raisin and that it's the dark fruits. I get a little bit of oak to it and just the slightest whiff of smoke. So that doesn't bother me at all. But to me,
if you had schizophrenia in a glass, this would be it.
Well, I think there's too much going on here.
Yeah.
That you can't focus on any one thing.
This is that girl with multiple personalities that you dated in college.
Yeah. It's just the finish is just
Simple
too
party of 10.
Right. Right. I mean, I just wrote too much, you know? I mean, there's too much going on here. And too much going on and not enough for me.
Yeah. It's so weird. Justin, what do you think?
It is an American single malt infinity barrel
Yeah.
that went wrong.
Well, I think every infinity barrel goes wrong. I've never had an infinity barrel.
Well, an infinity barrel equals
Spit
dump bucket to me.
I mean, the nose started out as dumpster fire, and then the smoked peated mash component of the 6 kind of became dominant. But then when you drink it, it's hopelessly
I don't
muddled.
think it goes dumpster fire. I think it's more interesting.
It started there.
I mean, this is what I'm going to call the geek whiskey, really, truly here.
Yeah.
Because you can
pick out a million things.
Right.
Yeah.
But they don't go together.
So many things. And if you just had one or the other, I think it's a great thing, but one gets taken over by the other, and then it gets taken over by something else, and they don't blend well together.
I mean, you can see that they're trying, and I'm happy for them. Bob?
Well, I mean, we've done a lot of new Riff on the show, and they're a solid producer. They make excellent whiskey.
Exactly.
And I mean, honestly, the worst one we've ever had, still really pretty damn good.
Well, this is the worst one we've ever had.
I think this is the worst one we've had. And I think it's honestly, and I think it's literally somebody just went, you know what barleys do we have available? Well, there's like these 6 that we could get fairly easily. Let's do all of them. You know, it's like somebody was just trying way too hard.
Pare it back and be more specific.
You're trying to do way too many things all at the same time. It's cluttered. It's clumsy. It all doesn't go together. The Maris Otter and the Golden Promise, if you'd have done just one or the other, would probably be fantastic. But the two of them aren't made to work together.
I've the only 100% Maris Otter I've ever had is Dr. Bill Lumsden's Glenmorangie Maris Otter one.
Yeah,
and that's my least favorite.
Yeah,
I can live without Maris Otter. If you do Golden Promise,
but if you take Maris Otter and then 5 others, it's never going to work. It's just I think they were doing a shotgun approach, which is not what they've done in the past. I think they got a little carried away.
It's a good way to kill people. It's a shotgun.
I think they just got carried away and they just tried to do too much in one bottle.
Just point.
Yeah, I think they overextended. They tried to do too much in one bottle, and I think they need
if
to.
they'd done the Golden Promise and the peated one,
yeah,
I think I'd be happy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like they're searching for all the answers in one expression.
It's not bad. It's not the worst whiskey.
No.
It's just not.
No. Unfortunately, it doesn't come to 42.
It's cluttered. It doesn't make any sense when you drink it.
It's exciting if you like girls who are crazy.
Yeah, that's
true.
You
like the crazy girls with the eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you got, a rating?
Well, we're going to...
For the girls or the spirit?
The girls automatically get bumped up one. But go
Well, the
ahead.
girls just cost you a house and a car and your credit rating. But we're going to rate the new Riff sour mash single malt 2 sips.
Well, isn't that nice?
So that's going to bring us to our next whiskey, and we're going to have Justin tell us about that one.
Oh, my favorite. Union Horse Revivalist American Single Malt. 48% alcohol by volume, or 96% proof. I'm sorry, 96 proof, and it's non-age stated. I blame the alcohol.
I blame the alcohol too.
Revivalist American Single Malt Whiskey is a small batch whiskey made from 100% malted barley, handcrafted using 3 styles of barley: Odyssey, chocolate, and caramel malts. Oh, don't mind my fighter jet in the background. Aged 4 years plus and non-chill filtered. Each bottle is hand numbered and signed by master distiller and co-founder Patrick Garcia. So
He's got an Irish first name and a Spanish last name.
on this one, I got the nose of a dumpster fire. The palate was pulled chalk.
Go on.
Finish
Go on.
was the pool disc that floats around in the pool.
What an eccentric performance.
You really got a lot of chlorine.
I did.
You inhaled too much chlorine as a child.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
there's no doubt about that. What did you think, Harmeet?
Thanks, Justin. I mean, I think the color is a gorgeous copper.
It's a nice
deep and burnished.
Yeah. Oh my God. Looking at it, it's got so much promise in the color alone.
Yeah, so, and then you smell it, and I get this beautiful caramel, those beer malts coming out. It's got that beery note, and then there's that whiff of chlorine he gets from the swimming pool. It's like being out on a hot day by the pool, and you smell that beer, and you smell that little bit of chlorine and maybe some sea salt. And then there's orchard fruits, there's pears, there's apples, there's peaches.
That chlorine disc might be floating too close to us on the side of the pool here today. That's all.
I mean, it's and
It
then,
always
and on
goes
the
to whatever
flavor
part
profile,
of the pool you're in. You
the
notice
flavor
that?
you get that sharp barley note. It's kind of more beery than it is scotchy, which I feel like is a fault that a lot of American single malts do. They all start going too beery, and this is where this is to me. I don't want to taste beer in my single malt. I want to taste the barley. I don't need. It's not hopped, but I can almost. It fools me into thinking it's hopped. What do you think, Brent?
Yeah. So my nose, I put barley malt, barley malt, barley malt, and on the palate there, I got like a powdered chocolate and barley, like that powdered nesty chocolate.
This is not the one I got the chocolate on. I think there's another one.
And stuff,
Ovaltine.
and a little bit of barley and malt. I mean, it was very. It wasn't enough expressions and enough variance in the palate for me. It was kind of basically sort of one note almost. Even after I added water, I just couldn't pull out enough different elements to it to make it to my.
You don't get the orchard fruits. You don't get the apples and pears.
Not
It's
for me.
almost like it's going scotchy, but it's too beery for me. It's there. It's almost there. But I see a chocolate powder coming out now.
Yeah. Well, it's that chocolate malt. I'm definitely getting the chocolate malt on it. But I'm with Harm on this one. This is leaning more in toward like a chocolate malt stout to me than it is a malt whiskey. And it doesn't have to be a Scottish malt whiskey.
You don't have to do Scottish style whiskey.
It can be an
Give me
American
whiskey.
style whiskey, but this one is, if you told me that this was a malt whiskey finished in a chocolate malt beer cask, I'd go, oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say I could taste the beer.
If you're a beer geek, you'd love this. Absolutely love this.
Oh, I think that that's their audience
target.
on this, their target audience.
And if it is,
And
then
it's
they're
okay,
nailing it. Yeah,
so
they're nailing it.
right.
It's that chocolate malt comes out. I mean, the maltiness is there. That sort of dry cocoa is there. I do get the fruit in it, but it's I'm with Harm. It leans a little more beery for me than I'm looking for.
Barley malt, chocolate, powdered chocolate. Yeah.
Barely barley.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, if it was a chocolate malt stout, aged, then I'd go, well, okay, I'm expecting that. I'm not expecting that on this because it's not a finished whiskey. So, it was definitely different. I think it was fairly well made, just not exactly the taste I'm looking for. So we're going to rate
the beer drinkers.
If you're a beer drinker, you'll love this one.
Yeah.
Love it. So Union Horse Revivalist American Single Malt, we're going to be giving 2 sips.
Well, isn't that nice?
So that brings us to our next one.
Tell us about that, Bob.
Is from Westward. Westward was born in Portland by master distiller Christian Krogstad and co-owner and CEO Thomas Mooney. They began distilling whiskey in 2004 along with other spirits. Many startup distilleries create unaged spirits as means to finance the long aging process for making whiskey. One of those spirits that they created, Aviation Gin, was noticed by a somewhat well-known movie star kind of guy. You might have seen him on TV hawking that now. Became a really big hit.
Otherwise known as Deadpool.
After selling off the brand, they now have the time and resources to focus on their whiskey. To make their single malt, they began by brewing an artisanal American ale from scratch using locally malted barley, ale yeast, and a low fermentation temperature. Distilled twice in low reflux pot stills, the spirit is aged in new, lightly charred American oak barrels before the barrels are blended in small batches to achieve the signature flavor. So,
Again, this is that beer made into whiskey.
Yeah. So the expression we're going to be tasting first is the Westward Whiskey Sauternes Cask, 45% ABV, 90 proof, that was released to members of the Westward Whiskey Club. It's finished for 14 months in Sauternes cask from one of France's Grand Cru Classé estates. You got a nice burnt bronze color to it. It's got a sweet nose. There's a little bit of citrus in there, a little bit of vanilla. A lot of honey. Very, very, very sweet nose. On the palate. On the palate, also sweet. A little bit of fruit, a little bit of honey. A little bit of oak. Very nutty. A lot of nuts in this.
I'm getting a lot of tropical fruit, not just a little bit.
Oh, it's all tropical fruit. Yeah.
This reminds me of that tropical
I thought you
Jefferson's. I did
the
forget.
tropics, yeah.
The
Jefferson's
tropics,
yeah.
or the Buchanan's pineapple. It's kind of like
It's pineapple.
reminiscent of both.
It is pineapple on there, and you got some like mango and
Ooh, the fruit comes out with water
I
for
got
sure.
peaches.
yeah. You
wow.
add that little bit of water to it, and it's
Yeah, it's a tropical fruit bomb once you put the water in it. So
And this stuff will give you a senior moment if you're not careful.
that's
It's
all
happened
right.
to me on air.
This is the best one we've had so far.
It's called a stroke, Justin.
Oh, stroke.
Yeah.
Another one. God,
no. This is the best one we've had so far.
I
You
had
get
one
that
the last show.
the honey and the honey and the tropical fruits and the nuts just really work well and blend well together.
Well, when we first opened it up, it was kind of closed, and I thought, oh, maybe this is not maybe they got a bad Sauternes cask. Maybe it was a little off. But once it got a little air to it, it opened up and it blossomed very nice. And with a little bit of water, that tropical fruit really comes out. But
I'm putting some water in the first time right now.
But again, it makes sense. I mean, Westward is known as one of the better American single malt producers.
I just,
so
my problem is all the American single malt guys, not all of them, they always play with hopped barley.
yeah.
Why do the hops? We're not
Because so
making-
many of them are from the Pacific Northwest and they're such beer geeks, they can't let it go.
Yeah.
And I wish they would, because I just I'm sick of hops. Yes. But, I mean, Westward
This is a good
one of the better
example,
ones.
though,
Yeah.
of that with the hops. That's actually nice.
Oh, yeah.
But I would rather them not do this. It's very fruity, though. It's very fruity.
yeah, on the finish you get a little bit of a tobacco finish on it. That tobacco leaf finish that comes with the fruitiness.
It's a good effort. I mean, I would not pour this out.
No,
If you pour me some, I'd enjoy it.
I like to make an ice cream out of this.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a white chocolate ice cream with this blended in.
Yeah.
So Dalmore.
Have you
They
ever
did a
had
Dalmore one time.
have you ever had a dessert glaze made with Guinness?
Yeah.
I have
Put
not.
you put that on ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So this
Well,
works.
We're going to be rating the Westward whiskey Sauternes cask. Well-deserved 3 sips.
Interesting.
I want to give it a higher rating, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's close.
It's because it's not ice cream
close.
yet.
That's not ice cream yet.
All right, so we're going to our next one. We're going to have Harm tell us about that one.
Okay, thanks, Bob. This is another expression from Westward. This is Ken's Artisan Sourdough Single Malt Whiskey, 45% ABV or 90 proof, 100% Pacific Northwest 2-row pale malt. For this expression, the Westward reached out to James Beard Award-winning baker Ken Forkish, and used his new French sourdough levain. What's levain?
It's a sourdough culture.
In place of their usual pale ale yeast. This release is a blend of 4 different vintages between 2 and 6 years old. The color is a beautiful old gold. And let's see what I've got on my notes here. The nose. So the rye does come out. I get that rye spice and peppermint and honey. And it smells like a sourdough loaf. It really does. The sourdough comes out. So I get some minty spice and herbs and bread. It's all on the palate. And the finish, though, is different. Because I get peaches and plums and chocolate and vanilla beans. And then on the very end, it's York peppermint patty. It's interesting and weird. I don't know what to make of this. Brent, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you that this tastes like a sourdough in a glass in a way with.
But with the York peppermint patty?
Well, I mean, but you also get that butterscotch on the palate.
It's not quite butterscotch for me.
And you get, I mean, there's some herbs there that I can't distinguish that just kind of pop a little bit. But you know what? We'll be back and talk about this after the break.
And we're back, and Brent was saying what?
Well, I'm saying that this is when you need to add water to.
Absolutely.
You really get that. The butterscotch comes out on it. The softness comes out on it. You get those, that vanilla bean on the palate comes out. Everything like pops a little bit, and it's really got this nice softness in the mouth.
Damn it, Brent!
With
How are you
palate.
schooling me on water? I'm the one who does that.
No,
You're
that's
absolutely
why-
right.
So it's just, it's very nice. I mean, this is a pleasant drinker. You could sit and drink this for a little while, not all night, but for a couple drinks, and before you switch over to something else.
I think I agree with you. This
The
Justin, water really improved this.
Justin, what do you think?
So, yeah, you were really right about the water. Now it tastes like a good sourdough bread with Kerrygold butter. And if you want to drink that, well, this is the drink for you.
No suntan lotion, no?
Not on this one.
I still get the York peppermint patty on the finish.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
There is
there.
a mint.
Yeah.
It's like
chocolate, and
MGP
chocolate.
made sourdough bread with Kerrygold butter.
Yeah, this one, after sitting in the glass and adding water to it, I mean, it significantly went up in my score.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this gave the whole point.
I'm really enjoying it a lot more now. This is very interesting. And again, we had one not too long ago where they tried to do everything all in one bottle. They're just doing one thing. They're basically substituting their yeast for the sourdough starter. That's the only thing they're changing.
And it's all 2-row barley, which is fine.
And this all worked. This worked fine. So I think this one was a winner. So we're going to be giving the Westward and Ken's Artisan Sourdough Single Malt Whiskey a well-deserved 3 sips.
Interesting.
It's another one that's close to 4.
Yeah. All right. We're going to have Justin. We're going to have Brent tell us about the next one.
Thanks, Bob. This one is the Westward Whiskey Cognac, or as I like to say, Cognac cask.
This is Merc. That's Cognac.
This is Cognac.
He likes his fillet mignon with his Cognac. Leave him alone.
The single malt whiskey is 45% ABV or 90 proof. It's 100% 2-row malted barley. So this is another Whiskey Club exclusive. This expression was finished for a year in casks that had previously been aged in XO Cognac cask, or I like to
Cognac.
say Cognac cask, for more than 40 years. That's a long time, so
The requirements for XO is 10 years, so 40-year cognac is really nice stuff.
yeah. The color on this one is a nice, it's a nice late 70s, early 80s copper color.
Very deep.
Yeah, it's on the nose. I'm getting some like croissants. I'm getting a little bit of ginger, some clove. I'm getting just a little bit of a pear on there, and then on the palate. Oh, that's got a nice creamy mouthfeel all the way around. You get and this apricot, and there's like a banana bread, like a nice banana bread, like made from like old bananas, not new bananas, but like used from.
You got to use old ones. Yeah,
Gotta use the old ones.
You gotta wait till they turn black.
Yeah, they gotta be the black bananas and put them in there. You get that right on the palate, and a little bit of a melon flavor. And then on the finish, it's just
It's more than a little bit for me. I got a lot of melon.
yeah. That's and then on the finish, you just get this nice, smooth. It's not a long finish. It's more like a medium finish, but it's a fruity, smooth finish. There's no harshness to it or anything.
This is another one that is significantly improved with the time in the glass for me.
Yeah, it's
Significantly,
Just,
and with water, again, another step up for me.
I agree with you, Bob. You're right.
This is really nice.
A little time in the glass, a little bit, couple drops of water, or if you want to use ice cubes.
Yeah,
with
you
your
just
ice
wait
melt.
a little bit. If you have patience on this one and just wait it out a little bit.
The cognac had almost a sharp edge, almost a burnt finish to it, and when we first poured it. But now that it's sat out in the glass for a good hour and a half, and with a little bit of water, now that beautiful cognac is opening up, and now I'm really seeing it. I'm with you. This is so soft and round and really pretty.
On this cognac this old, you get that rancio, that nutty.
And it was overpowering, but now it's settled down and it's lovely.
But I'm not getting the lighter floral notes, which I expect with good cognac too. But the floral notes are gone, but the rancio's there. The nuts are there.
It's turned into those melon notes instead of a floral note.
Yeah.
It
works. It works well.
There's that little bit of raisiny in the top note. Yeah, this one is significantly changed.
This one is a Whiskey Club exclusive. Is going to be happy.
Yeah.
They're happy with this one.
Yeah, and if you get it, pop the cork, let it sit for the rest of the day with the cork off, and then drink it, and you're going to be thrilled. What do you think, Justin?
This is I just retired from 30 years in the government cognac whiskey. It is smooth. It is long. It is going to appeal to a certain demographic of really hardworking people who've done a mindless job forever and now want to enjoy the rest of their lives.
Why? What do you? Jesus.
So postal workers, basically. The
MTA, postal workers.
Same guys who go crazy with an AK-47. Okay, great. Nice.
But if they don't go that way, they get this bottle.
Okay, so
enjoy
we
their
should be
lives.
airdropping it then. Okay.
So we finished our beer in a cognac cask.
Right.
There you go.
All right. I have nothing else to add to that one. So we're going to be rating the Westward whiskey, cognac gas, single malt, well-deserved 3 sips.
Interesting.
So that brings us to our next whiskey, and we're going to have Justin tell us about that one.
Oh, you can regret that. Western
Already have.
whiskey elements.
The minute you walked in the door.
High desert to Klamath Basin. 45% alcohol by volume or 90 proof. It's 100% Oregon malted barley.
This was our High Plains Drifter theme.
High Plains Drifter. If you like the Beastie Boys, you might get that reference.
No, I'm a Clint Eastwood fan. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember the movie.
So Westward Whiskey Elements High Desert to the Klamath Basin is entirely sourced from Oregon, including 2-row spring barley developed at Oregon State University. Prized for its flavor, the varietal is called Full Pint and is grown all around Klamath. This expression also includes a select blending from barley grown and malted in Madras, the central high desert, which was finished in Gariana, Oregon white oak casks from Oregon Barrel Works, the Pacific Northwest only cooperage.
So I'm confused. Madras is a state in India,
That is correct.
but this is Madras in Oregon?
That is also correct.
That's weird, man.
So we got on the nose,
I believe in America they call it Madras.
Madras.
Well, I would call it Madras.
Madras. It's Madras, dude. It's Madras.
Madras.
Madras. Go ahead.
So this is
Does it taste orange, red, and what's Madras colors?
this is what
Orange, red, white, yeah.
Christmas smells like after grandma's baking the fruitcake. That's the nose. On the palate, got like that raw brown sugar muddled, little bit of dark cream. The finish, you get like coffee, sponge cake. I thought it was decent. What did you think, Harmeet?
It tastes like the colors of Madras plaid. Red, blue, orange, gold. It's all there, man. It's all there. It's dark floral notes, like you said. I get ripe red apple. I got chocolate, milk chocolate and flowers, butterscotch and coconut and toffee and figs. It's a mix. It's complex, but it's not crazy like that other one where they threw everything against the wall. This, I can pick out flavors and I can be happy with this. I mean, it's quite good. Brent?
Yeah. So right off the bat, I got these floral notes on the nose and a little bit of sugar, like sugar and flowers. Adding water to it, that kind of like toned it down a little bit, and then it brought it back to life on it. For those floral notes on the palate. My thing is chocolate milk with butterscotch and flowers. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like if I had chocolate milk and I drank it with butterscotch and flowers, this is kind of the note I get from it.
You know what's missing from it? It's a citrus note. If it had a citrus note, I think it would even be better. But the flowers and the chocolate and the butterscotch work.
Yeah, they all kind of work together, and it's creamy, so you get it's like that, when you're on the finish, you kind of get like that, like that butter cake or the, that you're finishing up on, for your dessert and stuff. It's just a really nice blend. I enjoy this one.
Kind of desserty.
Yeah, very much kind of desserty.
Bob?
Not so much sweet desserty, but just desserty.
Yeah, like, because like a pound cake is not like sweet, but it's, like that. So.
Well,
I had a really great bread pudding for dessert during the Kentucky Derby, man. I tell you,
Nice.
I think one thing we're seeing here is there's a trend with the ones from Westward. Open them, let them sit.
Open them, let them sit. Add a little bit of water.
Because every one we've tried so far has, as we've gone on, the longer these have sat and got some oxygen, and especially with a little bit of water, every one of them has gotten better than when it first opened up. And this one's delicious. I mean, this one's really, really, really nice. I mean, it's got a great...
This is distinctly American.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's distinctly American, which is great. That's fantastic. That's what we're looking for, is we're looking for American single malt. If I want scotch, I'll drink scotch.
Was in Gariana oak?
Who? What?
Did he mention this was in Gariana oak?
Yeah, yeah. But
so this is the type of oak that's Quercus Gariana is an oak found in the northwest part of America. It's different from Quercus alba that they use for bourbon. It takes longer to grow. It's got tighter grain. It's
curvy. It's hard to work with.
it's a pain to work with. Yeah. But this is lovely. I mean, it's got a great nose. It's like Christmas cake and a little bit of fruit cake mixed in.
Not so much dried fruit as a fruit cake. It's more floral.
Yeah.
Butterscotch comes through. It's got a lovely creamy palate to it. It's quintessentially American malt, but really done well.
I really enjoy stuff finished in Garyana.
Yeah.
Remember we had that Westland stuff in Garyana.
Garyana has a very distinct
That's from
taste,
Washington State. This is from Oregon.
Yeah. So, excellent whiskey. So we're going to be giving the Westward Whiskey Elements High Desert to Klamath Basin a well-deserved 3 sips.
Interesting.
So that takes us to our last one, which is the Westward Milestone Single Malt Whiskies, 43% ABV, 86 proof. Westward Whiskey Milestone is a new annual release. It was created using a 21-barrel Solaris system that includes some of their most precious whiskeys.
I love the Solaris system. Want to tell people about that really quick?
Basically, imagine a pyramid of barrels. You start filling them at the top, and as you fill them at the top, you take off of that, put it in the next one, put it in the next one, put it in the next one, next row down, next row down, next row down.
Yep.
So by the time you get down to the bottom, it's got elements of whiskey that is much, much older and smaller elements of the whiskey that is younger. So you're basically sort of blending it out.
It's a great system. I don't know that everybody understands what the Solaris system was.
I thought Solaris system started on the bottom and went to the top.
Yeah, bottom to top. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have more of the younger barrels and you have fewer older barrels.
You should always start at the top and go to the bottom.
So once you get to the top, you've got, you've
top down, that's that trickle down economics.
You've got elements of each vintage in there. So, but this one here, let's see, it's got a really nice bronze color to it. It's got a nice rim, bright, very clear. On the nose, it's just honey. It's got a nice nuttiness to it.
I get candied orange peel and lemon peel.
Yeah, there's definitely candied orange in there. I don't know about lemon, but I'm definitely getting the orange. And then on the palate, I get like a PX kind of sherry raisiny sort of note to it.
That comes through fast and furious.
Yeah. There's that raisininess to it, a little bit of dark fruit, a little bit of cinnamon, and that nuttiness goes right through. It's like a nutty, kind of like a nice nutty sherry.
I got almonds on the nose. It's on the same on the palate, right?
On the palate, it's more darker nuts for me. It's more like walnuts, pecans,
tasted a lot of dark
filberts.
nuts, have you, Bob?
Oh, yes, all the time. That's what she said. But delicious. What'd you think, Brent?
Yeah, this one was my favorite from all of them today. So I had higher regards for this one than most of you guys, but
it's gotten better as it's sat in the glass.
Right. And but yeah, on the palate, I get that raisins, those dried fruits, the little bit of nuttiness to it and stuff that follows through on the finish. You get this nice brown sugar coating, baking spices. I love it. Harm?
I would go out of my way for this one. When I first poured it and tasted it, I liked it, but I didn't love it. But now with air and water, I love it.
Yeah, this one's fantastic. What'd you think, Justin?
I liked it. I definitely got like a durian melon pastry note on the nose.
I hate durian. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, but durian pastry is better than
the actual durian?
Yeah.
They don't let it on the subway for a reason. In Singapore, you're not allowed to bring durian in public.
You asked him, okay? Well, we're going to be giving the Westward Milestone Single Malt Whiskey a well-deserved 4 sips.
Yeah.
Killer guys. And again, fantastic whiskeys from Westland. They're really doing a great job. So if you see anything with their name on it, pick it up.
I'm a big fan of Westland. I'm a big fan of Westward.
Yeah.
They're both from the same region, the Pacific Northwest. I can't believe one didn't sue the other for the names.
They probably didn't get each other's mail.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank our guests for joining us. Thank you, Brent.
Thanks. It's been nice laying out by the pool.
Thank you, Harm.
I didn't expect chlorine in my whiskey, but thank you.
And thank you, Justin.
Thank you so much. Just call him as I see him.
Well, for Sips, Suds, and Smokes, Made Man Bob, thank you for joining us. Remember, life is too short to drink bad whiskey.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're listening to us online, do yourself a favor and tap
it in.
the subscribe button
Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
The easiest way to listen to our show is to ask Siri, Alexa, Google, Uncle Larry, or whoever it is that talks to you on your phone. Play podcast Sip, Suds, and Smokes. We love your feedback, and you can reach us at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. Our tasting notes flow out on Twitter and Instagram with our handle @SipSudsAndSmokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. You'll also be able to interact with the thousands,
millions, and millions
of other fans on those social media platforms. Do us a favor. Take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well. Come back, join us for another episode, and keep on sipping.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.